everybody, and you're all very welcome to the first webinar in the Safe Farm Futures programme. My name is Ashley and I work for Agri Aware, and we are the organisation that brings you Safe Farm Futures supported by the Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. In this webinar, we are going to have an introduction to Safe Farm Futures. We will then look at the farm safety signs that we might see on farms and farming in Ireland, and then we will have a quiz to finish the webinar. Safe Farm Futures is a programme to educate and raise awareness on the importance of keeping safe on the farm. As we know, the farm is a very important place for the production of food, but there are many dangers associated with where our food comes from. Throughout Safe Farm Futures, we are going to learn about these dangers on the farm. It is important that we know the dangers so that we can keep ourselves safe and protect ourselves from harm on the farm. The farm is not a playground, it is a workplace. So we must always remember to think safety first. There are 4 topics in Safe Farm Futures, and these are an introduction to farming, part 1, countryside care, part 2, animals and you, and part 3, moving parts, know where to start. The main cause of farm accidents for children is tractors and machinery. Did you know children under 7 years of age are not allowed to travel in the cab of a tractor, even if there is a passenger seat? Children over 7 years of age can travel in the cab of a tractor with an adult, but only if there is a passenger seat and seatbelt fitted. Now we will have a look at some farm safety signs. So there are 4 main colours of farm safety signs, and these are red, yellow, blue and green. Each of these signs have different meanings, and we will go through these signs now. So the first sign is your red sign. So these signs have a red circle, and they are used to tell us about very serious messages. So for example, these signs tell us things that we are not allowed to do, or that mean no. So we might see a no entry sign at an area where we are not allowed to enter, as there may be dangers present. Then we have the yellow signs. So these signs have a yellow triangle, and these signs encourage us to take caution and to be aware of our surroundings. So they warn us of the dangers in an area. An example of the yellow sign is a beware of the bull sign. We might see this sign on the gate going into a field where there is a bull present, and this warns us to stay out of the field as there is a bull in the field. Then we have the blue circle. So the blue sign is used to give us instructions. These are things that we must do. So it's mandatory that we follow these signs. We might see a sign like wash your hands, please, in a farm to remind us to wash our hands after touching animals to prevent the spread of diseases. And then we have the green signs. So these are green rectangle signs, and these signs are positive and affirmative signs which tell us where to go, and they usually point the way to safety. So we might be familiar with the green exit sign. And then we have the general farm safety sign. So farms should have farm safety signs to warn us of the dangers on the farm. And the most important thing a farmer can do is to have these signs up on their farm, but it's up to us to obey the signs and to be responsible and respectful of the farms. So farmers know the dangers on their farms, and we must respect the farmer and the rules on the farm. In the farm safety notice sign here, we can see 2 different coloured signs. So we can see our red circle and we can see our yellow triangle. So our red circle is telling us things that we are not allowed to do, or that mean no. So it's telling us no unauthorised persons allowed beyond this point, and this is not a playground. So it's reminding us that children are not allowed on the farm without an adult. Then we have the yellow signs, which are the signs that are telling us what we need to be careful of. So they are warning us about livestock and farm machinery. So if we see these signs, we must obey them on the farm, as they are warning us of the dangers. Now we will have a look at farming in Ireland. So a farm is a place where animals live and are raised, and plants are grown for food for people to eat. There are 135,000 farms in Ireland, so that's a lot of farms. And there are many different types of farms. Can you think of some of the different types of farms in Ireland? Excellent. So there are many different types of farms, and the farmer has many different types of jobs to do, depending on what type of farm they are working on. So let's have a look at some of these farms now. So first of all, we have the dairy farm. And dairy farms focus on the production of milk from dairy cows. And cows live in groups called herds. So we can see the picture of the herd of cows. On dairy farms, the farmer milks the cows typically twice a day, in the morning and the evening. When the cows are housed in the sheds on dairy farms, the farmer must feed them silage and meal and also minerals to keep them healthy. And when the cows are outside grazing in the fields, the farmer must move them to fresh grass. Cows spend most of their lives outside grazing high quality grass, so this helps the cow to produce tasty, rich milk. The main products that we get from dairy farms are milk and milk products, such as butter, cream, and cheese. And one of the main dangers on dairy farms is the animals or the livestock. So the cow itself is the main danger on the dairy farm as they can injure us. Then we have the beef farms. So these farms are focused on raising cattle for meat production. And similar to dairy farms, these beef farms, the farmers must move the cows to fresh grass, and they must also feed meal and silage when they're housed indoors in the sheds. On dairy and beef farms, the cows will have calves, and the farmer will also have to care for the newborn calves. Then we have sheep farms. So sheep live in groups called flocks. So we can see the flock of sheep in this picture. And on the sheep farm, the farmer will feed the sheep meal and silage when they're in the shed. They will move them to fresh grass when they're outside. They will also look after the newborn lambs. And another job that sheep farmers have to do is they shear their sheep once a year. So they will shear the sheep in the summer, which means that they will take the wool of the sheep. So this will keep the sheep cool during the warm summer months. And some products we have from sheep farms are wool, meat, and milk. And the main danger on sheep farms are the animals. So sheep might look like small animals, but they are very strong and they can also injure us. On dairy, beef, and sheep farms, the farmers must look after the fields because they have to provide the animals with fresh grass. They must look after the fields. So they will also have to spread slurry and fertilizer on the fields to help the grass to grow. So that's another job farmers do on these farms. Then we have the pig farm, and pig farms are also known as piggeries, and the pigs are housed indoors in the piggeries. So on the pig farms, the farmer must make sure the pigs have enough feed and water, and they must make sure that they're in a comfortable environment and that they have enough space to move around and that the temperature is correct in the house. And they must also keep the pig house clean and fresh. And some products we get on pig farms are pork, bacon, and sausages. And one of the main dangers on pig farms is the spread of disease, but pigs are also strong animals, so they could injure us. Then we have poultry farms, and a poultry farm is a farm that has boards either for meat or egg production. And there are many types of poultry, such as chicken, turkey, and ducks. So on the poultry farm, some poultry are housed indoors, so the farmer has to make sure they keep the house clean, and they must provide the poultry with fresh feed and water. So they look after the poultry indoors and sometimes they're outdoors as well. And the main danger is diseases on poultry farms, but also the animals could peck or bite the farmer. So they need to be cautious about that. And finally, then we have the tillage farm. So a tillage farm is a farm that produces crops. And these farms specialize in the production of cereals such as wheat, barley, and oats. And the main difference between a tillage farm and the other farms we've discussed is that there are no animals on tillage farms. Tillage farms just grow crops. And on the tillage farm, the farmer will have to prepare the field for the crops. And then they will look after the crops when they're growing. So they will spread fertilizer on the crops to help the crops to grow. And they will also spray the crops to prevent diseases. And then when the crop is grown, they will harvest the crop. So one of the main dangers on a tillage farm is the machinery. So we can see the combine harvester harvesting the crop in this image. So that's one of the main dangers on tillage farms. So as we have talked about there, each farm provides us with safe, high quality and traceable food. And farmers know the dangers on their farms. So it is important that farmers continue to farm in a safe manner to prevent injuries and accidents so that they can sustainably produce food for us now and into the future. And you must always remember, if you are visiting a farm, there must be an adult with you. Now we will move on to our quiz. So question 1, what is the main cause of farm accidents for children? Very good. So the answer is tractors and machinery is the main cause of farm accidents for children. Question 2, what colour sign means warning or caution on a farm? So you might remember what colour the sign was where we had the picture of the bull. So the answer is yellow. Very good. So we have our yellow sign telling us that we need to be cautious. It's warning us about a danger. And then question 3, what is the main danger on a dairy farm? So the answer is livestock. So the cows are the main danger on the dairy farm. So that's all for today's webinar. Our next webinar will be on part 1, countryside care. So I will see you in a few weeks for the next webinar. Thank you.